So I'm going to do another treatment because I pulled this out yesterday and saw a bunch of dead mites. Let me see. So it's kind of hard to see, but all those shiny brown are mites, and I was estimating about 100 of them. And now I'm not seeing as many. I think maybe they've been eaten by a bug or something. Actually, on this DE, most bugs can't survive on this stuff too long. It dries them out, sucks them dry. But yeah, there I could start seeing them. If I could have some bright sun. Yeah, so there they are. So what I'm going to do is, prior to my treatment today, I'm going to put one of these counter boards. This is going to be the fifth treatment in it's been almost a month. So these expensive boards are a little bit too big for the Apimaye, so I'll center it, and so center is going to be like right about where that 6 is. I have to make a little notch. And then down here, I'm just going to have to trim the whole bottom off to make this fit. So right here. The first board I did, I was like trying to really keep track. I'm terrible at keeping track. But I would lay this, I had like a grease pen, and I'd write the date and put it down underneath so I knew when. So I got to trim it here as well. Let me see. It's going to be about right here. So this is ready. And I'm going to prep the other hive as well. Let me pull this off. Excuse the clunk. Magnet. So I'm ready. And then since the DE is covered, we'll see the mite drop and be able to count how many mites on each square. And get a little bit of science. Not a lot, but a little bit. It'll give me a almost 100% accurate, with exception of maybe a few mites that could fall down the side. That's the plan. I might want to cut that because that might actually bind up when I try taking the board off. And then when I do my OAV, I'll remove this little guy and put the oxalic acid in there. You can see it really going after that copper. I gotta make sure that that is not plugged either, because if I put my OAV in there and it's clogged or propolised inside, I could make it blow the top right off of the InstaVap. And that's something that I'm going to be careful for, is standing to the side. And I probably should actually do gloves on each hand, probably, and a screen face shield, because when that thing blows off, especially when you're cleaning it, if it blows off, you could get, you know, second, third degree burns along with the oxalic acid mixture. Would not be good in the face, eyes, mouth, that kind of stuff. Anyway, so I'm gonna pause this and I'll go do the other hive. All right, hive 1, which actually houses my young hive from a split. Gonna do the same marked board on the bottom. Just looking again. I took video of this the other day. It was late in the day, so it's kind of hard to see whether it was just like brown debris or Varroa. I see. Let me see if I can use the scissors. Oops, no, it just probably skewed everything. Now that there is a Varroa. You see the shiny. And of course they kind of fall down into the DE, especially like when I just accidentally jostled it. So I've never really seen a whole lot in this hive, but there's some that's being kind of covered up by the DE, a couple of them. I think I've seen about 10 of them over here, and I thought I saw like about 10 here, which that was the most I've seen. That was after the 4th treatment. Anyway, so I'm going to snap this back onto the magnet and prep this guy. Now these ones are smaller on the wood base hive. They're not as wide, so I'm gonna have to do a lot more trimming on it. It doesn't have the same kind of key system as the Ergo. These boards were a lot too. Not really what I expected, but they are. It's like something that you could use over and over again. Yeah, it's got to clear the rails on the inside of that one. Okay. I could just dump the DE, but I kind of like its moisture absorption as well. So that may do it. Let's see. As long as it does it, I should probably put a little tape over it. Oh, now I got bees buzzing down here, sniffing that honey down below. All right. I wonder if it'll come back. Yep. So that'll work. And I'll just be careful when I pull that back out that it doesn't bind up in there. Hopefully they've started to propolize. No, they haven't. I haven't really started propolizing this. So I think I'll get a little bit of that foil tape or something. This hive, this has been in here forever. Yeah, there's a little propolis. But I did notice that the oxalic vapor was escaping from there, as well as the front when I was putting in the vapor. I've got this hive tilted forward a little bit, just so if rain hits the front, it doesn't go through the hive. Of course, with this, the Apimaye, it would go right through the screen on the bottom and into the tray, if that did happen. Okay, 5th treatment of the late summer. You could put my little battery on. I think this battery is about done, but we'll see if it'll heat up. It was freshly charged. So the first time I used this Oxalic Acid vaporizer, it started fast blinking, which indicates a bad battery. So I would like to be able to use these lighter batteries other than these big old heavy 10-pounders when possible. So I'm going to put on my mask, which will make me sound muffly, more muffly than I already sound. This is rated OV and also N95. I don't know if it's got a organic vapor, is what it says. And it works great. I don't taste any of the OV. Alright, we're blinking. So I noticed this seizes up. See, it's got a little bit of stuff in it. I rinsed it out pretty good, so it didn't seize up like it has. Oh shit, I just spilled oxalic acid. Not a whole lot, but so I'm going to go up to 3 on this. I don't know, I think maybe the brand of OA I have is not as powdery as some of the other ones I've seen. It definitely does not stick in there like I've seen with the other guys. I did also just bump with my knuckle right there. Not enough to, there's enough to give me like a little burn, not enough to even leave a scar, but that's where you definitely want good gloves. These are oven gloves. And I try to handle, oh, there we go, solid, so we're ready to go. Remove the stopper and place this in, and then I'm going to move my head to the side and quickly drop that in and push the button. And we do have some coming out the bottom. So the bottom board does leak a little bit. Let me look around the front, see how much is coming out the front. I really don't see any coming out the front. Look up here. Nothing there. You can hear them. They're getting excited. So I think it's been close to 30 seconds. So my ungloved hand I'm keeping down here. Let's see. That looks clogged. That's weird. I got a piece of metal here. Let me see. Let me do this with the gloved hand. Might have been a little clogged. I noticed that Last time I used this thing, it seemed like it was a little bit clogged up. Although I did poke it out. Anyway. So let me put the cap back in. I don't know how effective that application was, but I did see some. Mostly it was like right here, so I don't know if that thing's restricted. I think I'm gonna go ahead and clean this thing. And it's fully heated right now, so that's not good either. It'll definitely make this cleanup a little bit more intense. Might blow out the problem better too, but this is the most dangerous part, I think, of doing OAV. Is how this cap wants to blow. Like that, it just did. So this is clogged. This is clogged. I'm gonna put the big boy on. I'm gonna try to clean this thing out. This really, like a face shield would be in order for doing this as well. Yeah, when it blows the cap off, you know, when I'm putting a lot of pressure on it, you know, luckily when it blew, it's not blowing up into my face. Okay, less than a minute. So let's try this again. Might have to take this tip off. Okay, really hard. That was better. I'm gonna do one more. In fact, I think I'm gonna do another treatment on this hive after I get this cleared out. This one's fresh charge. Let's see what the bees are up to. I've seen evidence of disease on a couple of the bees that have fallen down on the bottom board. There's one that was like hopping. It would walk and then hop, walk and hop. And then she ended up down below here with another bee that wasn't looking so good. I didn't start seeing any like the first deformed wing that I saw ever since spring when I did my first OAV treatments. I did see a deformed wing about 3.5 weeks ago. That's about when I started the treatments. But let's see how this is doing. Okay, it's solid. I'm going to take the battery off. so it's going to be super hot. And hold it way away from my face. So that I think it's cleared out. Whatever was clogged, it seems like it's clear. So I'm gonna go ahead and put like a gram or two in, because I don't think that last one worked too good. So this is hot. Let me test it. It's cooled right down. So I'm going to do like a gram and a half. Let's see if this gets in the hive better. Supposedly you could just smash it straight down, but the stuff I have here maybe is not ground down as much as some of the other ones. So it's got a little bit behind the plunger and a little bit in front, but still it's like a gram and a half. So I'll keep my face out of it. I think I'll put use the gloved hand, and then hold this down here, which this actually is starting to go a little warm down here and hotter on that side. And this sucker is heavy. I can't really just leave it without holding on to it, because it kind of melts the plastic a little bit around where I have the part. I have a metal acceptor piece. So this is going to kind of lean back a little bit. Get the stuff on above. Now we're going to watch again. Okay, this time I don't see all that vapor coming out, so I think this one's working better than that last one. That last one, a lot of the vapor was coming out down towards the bottom. I'll take the battery off. Definitely, this would burn me if I was touching that. Oh, I see what happens. It's getting clogged. It is. That's no bueno. I'm gonna hold this with the glove. Oh wait, I need the glove to cover the cap. I can feel the cap wanting to blow off. Alright, I'll go do the other hive. Alright. Still hot. gonna crank this up to a little bit higher, up to 2. That may be a full load. What is this guy here? Definitely more than 2 grams. That's a little better. Of course, this doesn't want to stand up. On its own. Definitely gonna try a different oxalic acid. This is 99.6. So it claims. Alright, we're solid. And there we go. I see vapor coming out of the front. Not so much on the bottom, since I added a little of that Reflectix to the red plug for the pollen trap. Let's see if I got the same plastic. It's been about 30. Yeah. I'm gonna have to redo this. I'm thinking a little copper water pipe in place that'll go 1/4 inch. Yeah, look, some of the plastic just actually that's looks like oxalic acid. I'm going to do that over here where it's metal on top. This is distilled water, but I see a bug in there. Somehow got in when the lid was open. Alright, here we go, the dangerous part. Here's the dangerous part. Just drop the fucking camera. Alright, do it live. Okay. Holding this as low as I can. Pushing that on and away we go. And then that's got to be left open so this is not good. That's got to be left open till it dries. So much for this magnet. Alright, I'm done with the mask. But definitely needed, even with the I did like an N95 before I bought this mask, and man, you could still taste it. I did it once really carefully without a mask, or a couple times without a mask at all. But right before I bought this respirator, I did a treatment, and it was like after doing it, you know, I'm holding this thing and taking the lid off, and like just a little tiny residual puff of vapor came up, and I just like got just a little of it. Man, I've got a video, one of my videos shows me coughing. Let's put this plug back in before we start having them coming out in the back. Notice there's a couple bees that don't look, they're like investigating, almost like possible robbers. But not a whole lot of them today. There's still, this late in the year, there's still a lot of pollen coming in. And I feel the heat coming off of that, so that thing should, this part up here is where the heat will stay in a little bit longer. I need to power wash that a little bit. I can see little chunks. And what do I have in here? Is it a ladybug or something? Something in the bottle. Adjuster where you adjust up and down. Looks like I bent this a little bit too. Slightly maybe. Anyway, it just goes in the bag. Maybe that's why it got bent. This stuff. There's a neighbor's cat. Hi, cat. Cat, what are you doing? What you doing, cat? Are you being a good kitty, cat? Investigating? You find any moles or voles? Any mouses? Any lizards? This cat and his sister detailed every lizard in my backyard this summer. Got a lot of alligator lizards, and they're all running around. They're detailed. This cat's a detailer. You detail all the lizards, don't you, cat? What do you think it is, cat? What do you think of all these bugs right here? Cat used to be afraid of me. I didn't want it in my yard at first, and so I'd try to scare him and his sister, but they're pretty mellow kitties. So this thing's still a little hot. I'm not gonna put it in with all the stuff in the bag. I gotta go to the gonna switch up to a ammo can for this. Don't want to pour any water inside it because you don't want it getting gummed up inside. That's interesting how it's almost like the oxalic acid. Yeah, there's a little piece here, and I was thinking it was plastic, but now that I look at it, look what came out. And I think that's oxalic acid. So it's I'm probably using the wrong stuff. This is the grit of it. So think I need to get powder. This is the consistency between powder and salt on that. So I'll get some of that coming, try it, and hopefully, well, we'll see if I have to do any more treatments. I've got the mite board underneath. See that? So I'll be catching mites, and even already I've got 6 or 8 mites. There's 4 of them, 3 or 4 of them. There's one, there's a couple. That is maybe a knot mite, maybe not. It's kind of shiny, but it looks like it's got either a mite with something stuck to it. Anyway, in 24 hours, that board will determine for me whether I need to continue with a 6th treatment. I hope not.